You'll see us on fire here back on video, and today we're going to be hopping into a gun U-Trips offensive scheme. This has been a highly requested video, so we're going to bring it to you guys, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. This is always one of the best offenses in the game. It is very balanced, run-wise, pass-wise, and there's a lot of unique plays in it. Now, it's not in a lot of formations. It's not necessarily ever the meta of the game, but usually when you face someone running U-Trips, they're really good at it. It's a very masterful formation that if you like this formation, you'll probably use it the whole year, and you can really dominate with it. Now, we're in Patriots offensive playbook, and it's going to be called the Gun Y Off Trips Pats here, but also known as U-Trips. And just a ton to like here. My audibles are going to be curl flats, power, scat, and tight end whip. The other play that I really like is going to be corners here in the middle, and then some other stuff that can be decent, maybe Y option wheel, and then there's some other plays like Pat's Y out that can be good, but we're not going to go super crazy in depth. If you guys wanted to see a gameplay with this, I could bring that as well. But we're just going to start out with these plays that we have, and I'm going to begin with this Pat slot out play right here. Now, what I like about this play is having the backside post that you can take advantage of. So if we just run it stock here, you have an out route, and then boom, you have this post here. Now you have to throw it in a good slot. So timing is going to be your friend. These backside posts, they do work this year, but you have to be very careful about timing because they just don't automatically get open like they did before. So you have to find the window. Right there is a good example of just hitting it on the money. Obviously, I think this year more than ever, I like these backside posts a lot better because you're not getting bumped. Whenever I run posts, and you'll see this out of curl flats from this slot position, they tend to get bumped a lot. So it's just going to be a lot quicker to fire something like this versus everything getting bumped and it giving the user time to react and recover to that. And it can just get a little bit messy, but for this play, you can definitely create some cool concepts. So obviously you have the backside post. It's going to be your kind of key route here. But you also have Travis Kelce over here on this deeper post. And this route can be good against man coverage. You can also fit it in right about there. Now, spacing-wise, it could be a little bit better, but I like him as a clear out and a man beater. So you can obviously fit it in against zone. Now, a lot of times in U-Trips, kind of the problem that you run into is having a couple of routes and not knowing what to do with them. So what practice would definitely be beneficial with this formation, just seeing what route combos you like. There's a lot that you can do with running backs and then this guy. So we could throw him on like an in route, go in wheel. We could, one of my favorite concepts to go is in flat. First read, you can just fire it over here, pick up about 5 to 6 yards. And then you have the wheel route that's going to be good against certain coverages. Also, wheels this year, very good against man coverage, but against zone, you can fit it in over here. If you were on the other side of the field, short side, he could get open, pass leading inside as well. But that's something that I like. You could, again, go in route, out route, or drag, out route, some other stuff. Maybe you want to block this guy, and then you go X on a little zig, and then RB, you could keep him on this little route, or maybe you drag him on the back end. So just giving you a couple of ideas. Now, if you don't have anything in the middle of the field, you see how B is going to be completely covered. You can't throw it to him. Now, we threw it to him late, but if he clicks on, it's probably an interception. So you almost kind of need this route here just to pull people over. So that is why the motion wouldn't be great unless it was man coverage, or maybe if it was cover 2 or something else. Of course, if he's using that guy over there, that's where it could be fine. But as far as other setups for the play, I don't have too many other setups, but just something like this, again, it's going to work very well. Fire it over the top. Now, concepts that you could use that I used years past was maybe motioning him over, kind of turning him into a corner route. So maybe we drag RB, block the running back, smart route B, get him a little bit deeper, and you could snap him over here. This could work. It's really more going to open up the drag, and you would obviously probably have to be on the other side of the field, short side, motioning him over to the wide side so you have more space for the corner route to actually get open. But that could maybe work against cover 2 as well. So solid plays there. Let's move into just the run we have here with halfback power. Now, this run is actually solid. You can kind of choose. I like 5-6 trap. I also like power. So it's really going to come down to your personal preference, which one you like better. This one is definitely solid, and I like powers. I always like powers. I think base. We're going up against a pretty good run defense here. We're facing 3-4 odd, so there's 7 guys in the box here, and we're still able to pick up solid yards. If you're able to be patient, you can let the blocks develop, pick about, again, 7 to 8 yards or 7 to 10 yards. So, you know, you can see that the run is very solid. I do recommend being patient in base or power runs, especially if that lead guard, that pulling guard, is going to be slower on the speed side. There's no rush, so you can be patient, let the blocks develop. Right there, we turn maybe a 1 yard gain into a 3 or 4 yard gain, and those definitely add up. So again, you can be deceitful with this as well. Maybe incorporate some motion. That's going to free up a slot corner over there. You be patient, and then boom, maybe we have a little bit more space. So just creative things like that to open it up. But you want to run base 10, 15 times a game if you can, just throughout. Especially if you're staying in one formation, you have to run the ball because you cannot just really pass out of one formation. In my opinion, this year you have to be mixing it up, whether you're audibling to run the football or just to give them different looks. So you want to use this a lot, actually. Our next play that we're going to go over is going to be scat here. Now scat, you're a little bit limited, but we can do some things that I like. I'll show some kind of man coverage beaters, some zone beaters. Kind of the obvious setup that you would get first is going to be just trying to open up Valdez Scantling here. So what you'll do is just a traditional combination here. I actually don't mind keeping Reggie James here on his little spacing concept because he does get open. And against man coverage, they get pretty decent separation on stops or hitches and curls this year, so I don't mind that. So again, your first read's going to be kind of over here. But then you're going to pretty much look towards the left. It's going to be good against man. You have the out route that you can, of course, hit over here with Kelsey. And we end up picking a ton of yards up there just on a basic normal out route. Again, obviously your moneymaker is going to be the big-time route, which is going to be your corner route. So if you can't hit that, it is definitely something that you want to wait for. You can pass it up the field there, and then it gives you a chance to make a guy miss, turn up the field. So again, the clear out definitely is necessary if it's cover 3. If it's cover 2, you still can maybe hit him. Some other concepts they can go with are like these little spacing concepts that could work. So maybe you just put him on a little route like that. Then you can actually throw it kind of underneath because it's not a super deep corner route. So you can do things like that. So if you were doing something of that kind of a concept, I would maybe just throw X on a little backside drag or in route. Probably drag, clear out A, and just a little spacing concept like this. Again, you see actually we have a ton of space to hit Kadarius Toney. So that will kind of leave us into a segue. I will run that setup one more time, and then we will show something a little bit different. So again, something like this, just a solid setup. And again, with Kadarius Toney, because it's kind of a slower route, because he's getting bumped against cover 3, he would be open against cover 2. You're going to pass that above the cloud flat. And same with cover 4 that he's getting open here. Should be good against man coverage. Now it's a little bit flatter, so it's difficult to throw against man coverage. So what you maybe want to do in that case is actually motion him in a step right here, just to get a little bit more room to work with. Then you can throw it right there. Now it does take some time to complete that. You probably want to block your running back, but that's something you can do. Last setup I like for this is just to throw A on a little drag over here, maybe just streak X. And then with Y you can block him, or you can leave him actually. So this is just a good little spacing concept. You have the sideline stretch, and the wheel route was open. You have the drag and the in route. He's probably going to use one of those. So that's a solid setup there. Next play is going to be curl flats. This is one of my favorite plays, just to come out on the field, snap the ball, and throw it. It's a good quick snap concept, just because, you know, a lot of good routes to have here. Good things against man, good things against zone. Your flats are going to be the first routes that you love to throw. You're going to try and hit these as much as you can until he mans up one of these guys, or he hard flats, or he commits to defending these in a certain way. So you're going to take advantage there. Drop the ball there. But throw those flats until you can no longer do them. The next reads are going to be the curls. Now, against the cover 3, B is never going to be open. You see the curl flat's going to be over there. If I pull it past it, you high ball, it's going to go over the top. So he's not open on the left, but the curl on the right actually does end up being open. So You can hit it right about here. It's a very tight throw. Probably want to pass that not to the outside. You could low ball it, but he does get open. And then you have this post route. Now this is what I was kind of complaining about, him getting bumped. Just takes him a little bit to get over there, and it is a tighter throw. So you want to do some things to definitely open that up. So what you can do out of curl flats is you can switch to like a little out route here. This tends to give you a little bit more pull on that guy. You can throw it a little bit sooner. I don't know why he's diving so far out for that, but why he even has to dive, but that's something you can do. You could go drag. This will help. You'd streak X. And then you can actually block your running back in this case or throw him on the other side. So this is a setup that I'm definitely a fan of. You could leave the curl if you want, but this is going to open up your figure it out, Mahomes. This is going to open up your post route late, kind of turn him into a crosser. So if you want to do that, what you can do is maybe also motion him in a step. Now again, this does kind of slow him down, so you want to probably roll out for this, but dude, Mahomes sucks. Like, what is this? He's 99 overall. But that's what you could kind of do with that. If you want, some other things you can do, a little backside in route coming from that left side, because the curl, once again, doesn't get open anyway, so this just gives you another option to throw it to. So in that late kind of play trajectory, he's going to have to use the in route, he's going to have to use the post, so you're really giving him a nice choice there. I'll show it again. You still have your table, you still have your curl. So again, the depths are different. I don't know why that pass is never being completed. What is actually going on? Like, can I not complete passes anymore? There we go, we actually completed a pass. But that's something you can do. Something else I like to do is to actually go in route from the other side. So if I'm getting pressured a lot, I'll just block the running back, throw X on a little in route coming from here. You still have your curl flat concept. Then you have a high low. Now he runs that a little bit weird. You can go drag as well. You could go slant as well. So you're giving yourself a couple of options, which I don't mind. Again, you could go out route with B as well if he's not getting opened up enough, because as a curl route, he's not doing a whole lot other than holding zones. So something that I like to do, if it's zone coverage, you could throw B on an out route like this and have success with it. You could do the same thing with Richie James over here. It's going to be a little bit better against man. Now, depending on his route running, he could get a lot better separation than that. But nonetheless, it's an actual option versus the curl where it's nothing doing. So that's going to be curl flats for you. And the last play that we got here is going to be tight end whip. Now, I will also show another red zone dot that I like. But here we got tight end whip, and this play is going to be very interesting. If you run this play stock, it's going to be very solid against something like a cover 3 or a cover 4. Just take a look at the post routes. And just the way the routes are developed, these get the most separations that I've ever seen from something like a backside post. And it's actually the routes on both sides that contribute to this. Even this running back route does a really good job of opening up Richie James over here. The zig, particularly from this tight end spot, pulls like all these linebackers down, even the one on the right. Although the Juwan Bentley over there on the right, he is kind of pulled down by the running back route. So those two routes are kind of necessary. What you can do with RB is really whatever you want. So something I'll usually do is motion him over. You could throw him on a drag. You could throw him on a flat, some other stuff. You could just streak him in the middle there, open up some even more space. But nonetheless, these post routes are open. So that is where you can get creative with your plays, because you don't necessarily need both. Now, both, I've had trouble in the past having both because I just usually end up making the wrong read. You want to practice with it if you are going to keep both, because it is difficult to run to the same area. The timing has to be perfect, or you're throwing to a user that can defend both of them. So that's why you want to be careful with that. And this is going to be where you can create some of these other concepts that I like. So we could go with this concept. You still have Killer Trav. This is one of the most difficult plays to defend. The tight end zig is really going to be open against every single coverage in the game. Man coverage is going to smoke if you have a good guy. It's going to beat really everything that you have. So this setup is money. Again, you can throw this pass over here. If you're on the other side, you could pass it inside. And depending on the coverage, that could also be an option. So that is an option I don't mind. Some other things, maybe you just go back to a curl flat concept. I don't hate that. There you see X, he's going to be open. Now he's a later read, so if he's defending your post, that's where you want to go curl. But again, you still take advantage of these routes. Now, let's say we want to throw it to this guy over here. That is where things get a little bit trickier. because we need all these routes. So we need Edwards-Helaire on his out route. Obviously, we're not going to block Kelsey, so over here is where things get a little bit tricky and like deciding what you actually want to do with these guys. You can just motion them over, kind of turn them into a little corner out over here. I don't actually hate that decision, just to create some chaos over here. Now, again, your post is still going to be open, but a lot of times I have trouble deciding what to do with B. I'll just usually just go and streak him, which it's not really a great option, but you never know, it can get open. And having solid plays like this are something that pros will do a lot. They will just give simplify the play. A lot of times you have too much going on, 2 posts. Maybe it's better with just a streak, just because you're making things easier on yourself. You're giving yourself only 2 options. If he defends this, I throw it here. If he defends that, I throw it to the other guy. Versus you're giving yourself 20 options, and that's where you find yourself making the wrong read a lot of the times. So overall, it can be challenging. Again, with that setup, we're not really needing the out route, so what we can do there is maybe throw RB on the drag, and then you could probably still streak B, and then you could also flip those, throw the other guy on the drag. So this is actually going to open up Kelsey a lot more on his zig, because the linebacker's pulled inside more. It's going to open up RB as an option, so that's a solid play as well. But we're going to go through and hop into some of these other plays that I liked. Now, Y option wheel is going to be one. And that's going to be your red zone option. The other play that I liked was going to be corners. Now, corners is, again, one of those plays where you have a lot going on, so you want to really pay attention. First thing that you can do is just kind of run this play stock. I like throwing Edwards-Helaire on a little out route. You have B, I'm going to keep him on that route. And then you have this backside corner. Now, he can get open against cover 3. He's obviously going to do well against man coverage, and it's nice to have a corner out. Now, Mahomes does have hot route masters, so you could put him on that anyway, but the most important thing to do is do something with the running back, because you don't want him to motion out. That's going to be a tell on what play you're actually running, so that's not something you want to do. Now, another tell with this play is that the running back is a lot more or the wide receiver here on this right is a lot more inside. If he's a really good player and he's really paying attention, he's done his homework, he should know that corners is coming. But a lot of times people will know what play is coming, especially if you're running bunch. You're running like 3 plays, but it doesn't matter as long as he can't stop it. So this concept is going to be solid. You have a corner out on the left. You have Kelsey. I love this route from Kelsey on this post route. That's the whole reason I like using this play, because he gets opened up. He's a really good option against man coverage. And if you have a really good tight end like Kelsey, you will dominate U-trips. U-trips is one of the most used schemes for good tight ends. Trips tight end is also, but U-trips is really another level, because you're just using the tight end so much. He's a huge part of what's happening, and it's very important that you get a good one. If you're using him, get speed. Don't get a slow possession tight end. You want someone that can run. So this setup I am a fan of. If you're going with something else, you could run this vice versa, go streak, drag from the other side, and then maybe you go wheel route with Edwards-Helaire. You can throw this as an option, so I like this because he's so far inside. That seam route is a little bit more throwable. Again, you could go out route if you're running that setup with a little streak. Again, just clearing yourself out. The corner out, it's creating a little bit of chaos. Now, I don't like the streak as much for Kelsey's route, just because it does congest the middle of the field a little bit more. So you can go drag, you could still go out route. Maybe you just want to streak him. This setup can be good. So really, it's just opening up a lot of things. There you see the corner out. He runs it very solid. So you can do a lot of things. Now, again, with corners, what you can do here is you can actually not motion anybody. So it does limit you in maybe motioning this guy over. So that is unfortunate. Even when you block the running back, you can't do much. But I will show you the spacing here. If we audible, it's a couple of spaces, steps to the right. It's definitely noticeable if he's paying attention. But if you get out there, you snap the ball too fast anyway, then maybe he doesn't notice. So again, you can go flat wheel over here. This is a good quick snap concept. It does seem to open up Kelsey a little bit more. And again, you see, get someone that can run. You can split defenses fairly easily. But that's pretty much going to do with the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 25K. And let me know what you guys want to see next. Peace. I'm out of here.